Hey, what's going on guys? It's BrainBean here again, and today we're going to be doing a blind clicky switch comparison. Now the idea is to find out if you really can feel the difference or if it's all just in your head. And what we're going to be doing is I've got my buddy here, we're going to check out these switches. Since he's not super familiar with clicky switches, I'm going to have him do just a blind switch comparison to see which one he thinks feels the best. And for me, since I think just by feeling a lot of these different keyboards, I'll probably be able to tell what they are, I'm only gonna feel the actual switches, and I'm gonna try to see if I can identify what those switches are just by feel. So with that, let's go ahead and get into this blind switch test. Okay, so before we get into the blind test, I just want to introduce all the keyboards that we're going to be using and the switches that we're going to have inside. So the first one is the Cooler Master MK750. This one has Cherry MX Blues in it. Then we have the VAVA Chroma that has Kailh Blues. We're also going to be using the Drevo Calibur. This one's using Outemu Blues. We have the Gamdias Hermes P1. This has TTC Blue switches. Of course, the Razer Blackwidow X with Razer's Green switches. And then I'm also throwing a wild card in the mix. This is the Cooler Master MasterSet 121 with Cooler Master's mechanical membrane hybrid switches. Thought it'd be interesting to see if we can actually tell the difference between those keys and real mechanical keys. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys. So this is Michael. Say hi, Michael.
Hello, everybody.
So Michael doesn't really have much experience with any clicky mechanical keys. So this is the perfect test. And what we're going to be doing first is he's going to just try all 6 of these keyboards scattered all throughout, and we're gonna just one by one toss out the one that feels the worst until we're left with the top keyboard. All right, whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm just gonna go around the world, kinda.
All right.
What's it gonna say? I think my preference, not being able to see what they look like or anything, is between either this one or this one. You would pick one to throw out?
Well, I think that's just as good. I think that's just as good. I mean, the idea here is to just decide, without knowing what any of them are, what you would pick, like what your preference would be, yeah. So interestingly enough, the first one that you chose on your right side is not a mechanical keyboard at all. That's the Cooler Master Hybrid one. Mm-hmm. And then the one on your left, those are the Outemu Blues, which are one of the cheapest budget switches out there, but they're also incredibly popular because they are pretty good. Like, people like the way they feel. Okay, so out of our blind test initially, out of all 6 keyboards, the winners out of the 6 were Outemu Blues and Cooler Master's Mecha-Membrane keys. You still agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking about one to throw out. It's kind of hard to pick one. Honestly, they all feel very, very similar.
Yeah, I think next what we should do is just a couple of head-to-head tests.
Yeah.
And we'll just pick out of the 2 and just kind of see how that goes. Okay, so we're going to do a head-to-head test first of 2 different keyboards. I'm not going to say what they are out loud just yet, and then we will pick the winner. You'll probably see them because I'm going to have the actual names of them on the screen for you guys, but Michael doesn't know which these 2 keyboards are, so we're going to start out and just see which one he thinks feels best.
All right. I like this one more.
Right.
Yeah, feels a little bit smoother. Like the mechanical feel is still there. This one kind of feels like kind of sticky.
But interestingly enough, that is also the mechanical membrane hybrids, and the one on your left are the Cherry MX Blues. All right, we're gonna swap out with some other ones now.
I prefer this one.
Okay, so these 2, as you guys can see on the screen, but these are Kailh Blues on the left, and Michael chose the Outemu Blues as the winner out of these 2. What was it about those 2 that you thought that the one on your right was better?
It kind of almost feels like the quality in this one is a little bit better than this one. I feel like they feel like they've got something solid behind them. These kind of just feel like hollow shells on. I don't know how to describe it.
It makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Outemu Blue is the winner. Now, as you guys can see on the screen on this one is one of the bigger comparisons and one of the most common questions I get asked. So it's gonna be interesting to see which one gets picked here. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Yeah, they're pretty close. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. I think, again, I like this side more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Michael has chosen the Cherry MX Blues over the Razer Greens. What was it about that one you think that just kind of made the difference?
It's a kind of the same thing. This one really feels like it has, like I'm pushing into something kind of solid, where this one kind of feels like there's a little bit of emptiness, like a little bit of shake to the keys. I mean,
so like the Razer keyboard is a lot more wobbly on the keys.
like
like
it's
if
not
you
as
push it down all the way and wiggle your finger around, it wobbles.
Yeah, they both kind of do, but this one just feels like, I don't know if it's a thicker key or something like that's on there, but definitely feels more comfortable to me to type on if I had to pick one.
Okay, we're gonna do one more test. Okay, let's see what you think about these two.
I think I like this one more, but is this the hybrid one?
That's actually the same exact two keyboards. I just swapped which one was on which side. So yeah, you still picked the Cherry one. So yeah. I mean, obviously what we're kind of determining here is that you can actually feel a bit of a difference.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's turn the tables now, and I'll sit there and I'll do it as well, and I'll see if I can tell the difference between some of these keys. Now that Michael's gone through and kind of done the blind test between different switches, I'm fairly confident that I already know how these switches feel enough that if I did the blind test, I would probably already be able to tell the difference. So without being biased, I thought it'd be interesting to see, just having one keyboard in front of me, if I can actually guess what that keyboard is without seeing anything, just by feeling the switches. And also because I'm fairly aware of what type of stabilizers are on some of these keyboards. I'm only going to use just the regular keys. I'm not going to use space bars or enter or anything like that. Anything that would give me a hint as to what type of keyboard it is, I'm only going to do the switches. Bring on the first keyboard. I feel like some kind of like ninja master, like with the blindfold on, like bring it on. All right, let's see. Kind of a tough one. I'm torn between two different ones on this one. I'm pretty sure that this one is the VAVA keyboard, and this would be the Kailh Blues. Is that right?
That's right.
Nice. 1 for 1. All right. Ooh, this is the Mecha-Membranes. Yeah, I can tell right away. It's a little squishy.
All right. It's gonna be an easy one.
This is the Outemu Blues. This is the Drevo keyboard, the little white one.
Yep.
Yeah, I can tell. You can tell, but the Outemus have like a high-pitched click to them. But Yeah, there's something about the Outemus that's just like you can hear it.
Next one. I forgot to judge it by the sound.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed by my touch sensation.
So a lot of times with these two, what I'm checking for is key wobble, the actual feeling of the click, and how like kind of like you said, like how solid it feels. And when you like with clicky switches, there's multiple parts that move. There's like the actual part like of a mechanical switch that goes down, but the clicky ones have a separate part that moves in there too that comes down and clicks. And some of them, like you said, it feels chunky because it's not real smooth, like there's a lot of play in there. And then other ones, it feels really crisp and solid. Like this one feels super crisp, which makes me think that these are the Cherry MX Blues. Definitely probably the Cherry MX Blues.
Got it.
Nice.
Next one.
And I really can't see anything either. I'm not cheating. I'm just a big nerd when it comes to this stuff. All right. These are the Razer Greens. I use this keyboard a lot, but I can tell by the sound, but also Razer switches have a lot of key wobble.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell just by wobbling them. All right. Which I'm pretty sure there's only one left?
2 left.
2 left, okay. Big one. These are, oh, you're trying to trick me. These are Cherry MX Blues.
Nope.
Oh, no, these are the Kailh Blues. This is the VAVA keyboard.
Yep.
Wow, yeah, I mean, it does feel pretty similar.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised by that. You got me. You got me.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But it feels very similar, actually. That's kind of surprising. They're like, it's a little bit looser feeling than the actual ones. Like after I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, I can see that. But initially, I didn't really notice much of a difference. These by far are the worst of any of them. There's almost no tactile bump. There's a click, but you don't really feel it. Which makes me, these don't feel anything like any of the other ones. So these have to be the TTCs that were in the Gamdias Hermes P1.
Hermes P1. You got it, man. You got them all.
Okay, so before we wrap it up, we're going to do one more test. Now, I chose the 2 keyboards that Michael liked the best from the last 2 rounds of comparisons, and we're going to just see one more time head-to-head which one comes out on top.
I like this one.
So what is it about the one on your right that you like better than the one on the left?
It's the response of it. I kind of like the way that it feels.
Okay.
This one feels good too. It just feels like it's. This one just feels a little smoother to me. I don't know. Something about it. I like it more. It's my personal preference.
Okay. So you actually chose Cherry MX Blues. The one on the left is the mechanical membrane hybrid keys.
Oh yeah?
And so it's interesting because you've now chosen Cherry MX Blue 3 different times out of different comparisons. So you say it's pretty safe to say that that one actually feels like more quality and better than the other ones that you tried.
Yeah, I would say so.
So the hype behind Cherry switches has actually got some weight.
It's a real
to it.
deal.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. I know we probably didn't do it the most scientific way possible, but I thought it was interesting because giving the kind of inexperience with clicky mechanical switches that Michael has, I thought it would be interesting to kind of put different switches head to head, and I think it's pretty clear that we determined that there really is something to kind of the hype behind Cherry switches. I mean, that's something that I believe in all of my reviews, but I think it's interesting for you guys to get that perspective as somebody that's not real kind of, you know, informed on all these switches and kind of the engineering that goes into them, but to just go based on feel alone. I think it definitely says something that he chose the Cherry MX Blues 3 different times in head-to-head tests. Now, as far as mine go, I thought it was pretty interesting, and it was a lot of fun to just do blind tests and try to guess the switches. And as you guys can see, he did trip me up just a little bit, and I thought it was interesting that the Kailh switches were pretty easily mistaken for Cherry MX Blue switches, although after kind of learning that, I did feel a little bit of a difference. But I think it definitely goes to show that almost every single time you can tell the difference based on feel. You know, a lot of times people say that all clicky switches are gonna feel the same. Well, obviously that just simply isn't the case. Anyways, guys, that's it for this comparison video. I want to know from you guys down in the comments below, what is your favorite clicky switch? Because just because we chose Cherry MX Blues, I want to make it clear that there really isn't any best choice, and these are all personal preference. And for some of you, you may like the feel of the Razer switches over the Cherry switches, or Outemu's light tactile feel over the more crisp feeling of Cherry. And there's really no wrong decision, it's just what you guys like best. So let me know in those comments down below, what's your favorite switch? Well, that's it for the video, guys. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it to show your support, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot more videos like this coming for you in the near future. You can also follow me on Twitter at BrainBeanGaming. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.